What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching the first and last bonus episode of Let's Play Pokemon Red. Now that we have completed the journey to the Pokemon Champion, or to become the Pokemon Champion, this cave over to the left is open. Previously, there was a guy blocking the way, but after defeating the Elite Four and your rival to become the Pokemon League Champion... Oh, there's a dude here? I didn't even know, man. I guess we should probably take him out real quick. So yeah, after becoming the Pokemon League Champion, the cave becomes open to you. And it's a pretty hardcore place. I don't really know what to say aside from that. I mean, it is what it is. It's basically the game's ultimate challenge, which is kind of nice that they offer you it. I really feel like I'm making a big waste just using Psychic on these guys. Now, this final dungeon is kind of interesting. On one hand, it's full of pretty useful items. Okay, well, maybe not so useful. Some of them are good, most of them are just kind of whatever. The thing is, now that I've beaten the game, I don't really have any reason to worry about what items I get or how much experience I'm gaining. So, that combined with the fact that this place is not really big, but it's fairly big, it's very confusing and mazy, and the fact that it's full of really freaking annoying random battles like Golbats all over the place and whatever else. I mean, jeez, you can fight like Sandslash, Raichus, Arbok, Parasect, Venomoth, Kadabras, Magneton, Dodrio, Hypno, all kinds of crazy stuff. And none of them particularly easy. So I'm just going to resort to using repels. And there are no trainers in here, so there's that as well. Now then, let me just consult with my map real quick. Okay, well the map says I can just take this ladder, but I have a hard time believing it. There's basically only one goal in this place, and that is that if... Is this actually gonna work? Well, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, this actually is going to work, except that I was reading my map completely wrong, and the ladder up here did not lead where I thought it did. Okay. So, after a little bit of inspection, this place is actually fairly straightforward. Although the one thing to note is that the layout of this dungeon actually changes depending on whether you're playing red or blue, or yellow. Red and blue have the same layout, whereas yellow is a little bit different. It's got the same kind of idea of like this winding, mazy rock cave type thing, and apparently my max repels are not working very well. Actually, now that I think about it, I think repels are only supposed to work on enemies that are lower level than you, and most of the enemies in this cave are not lower level than me, so that might explain it. Anyways, I also thought that I needed Flash to see in this cave, but apparently that's not the case. I thought you might need it for Victory Road as well, but I guess they figured that forcing you to have one of your Pokemon only have 3 available abilities for the entirety of the game was a good idea. It really makes me think that I should have taught Flash to like a random Pokemon that I caught rather than teaching it to Drowsy. If it's only going to be an ability that I use literally once for the entire game. Anyways, I might as well keep trying to use this repel even though it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot for me. I suppose I should actually also note that I'm just running away from all these encounters. I'm not even bothering fighting them because I'm going to need my Pokemon in tip-top shape and with basically all of their abilities available to them. And quite frankly, using up all of my abilities on random fodder is kind of counterintuitive to that goal. Especially considering that they can actually be pretty hard to kill. I just want to point out, in that battle, I fought an Electrode, a level 55 Electrode, and I failed to run away, and it used Explosion on me. It didn't kill me, but the reason I'm pointing this out is mostly just because I got experience for apparently defeating this Electrode. I mean, I guess I survived and it did not. And I actually leveled up from it. So I basically just leveled up because I failed to run away. I just thought that was kind of amusing. Anyways, we're just about there, and this encounter rate is really not relenting in the least. Although at least I am managing to consistently run away without really having to take much damage or anything. And of course, as I say that, I run into another Electrode who uses Self-Destruct, which ends up being a critical hit, which kills my Hypno in a single shot. And of course, while I was saying that, I got into like 3 more battles. Isn't this place lovely? Anyways, really? You just had to fit 1 more random battle in there? The 17 billion before weren't enough? Oh man. Stupid game. No. I don't want to use max revive. There's the revives. So get Hypno back on his feet. And use a max potion on him. And I also want to save, because truth be told, this is probably going to be harder than beating the entire Elite Four. This is this game's Super Pokemon. The biggest, well, maybe not biggest, but best, most powerful Pokemon in the entire game. And it goes by the name of Mewtwo. You may recall me mentioning it a little bit when we were in the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island. And of course, not only is this guy super strong, but he's also level 70. And he's basically guaranteed to go before us, which is unfortunate. Although luckily, psychic attacks are not particularly effective against other psychic Pokemon, so my first order of business is to put him to sleep. I should note that if you're a normal human being and you want to capture this guy, then your best bet is to simply use the Master Ball that you got from the Silphco president. And if you do that, it's a 100% chance to catch it, and it just takes all challenge out of it, which I guess is a good thing if you don't want to get annihilated, and a bad thing if you want challenge. This is not going very well. Okay, there we go. Paralyzed. I'm trying to get this guy afflicted by Paralyze and Sleep so that I can actually start pounding on him. Because the fact of the matter is, I don't really have any way to take this guy on in even terms. Like, he's just going to annihilate me. But if I can... Well, now he's paralyzed, so that's at least one good thing. Because that means that despite being super high level, he's always going to go after me now. And that's a big advantage. Also, there's a slight chance that he will not move, and I'm pretty sure Hypno is dead now. This is not starting off so well. Okay, well, let's try Jinx. She knows Sweet Kiss, which can also afflict Sleep. Wow. I guess status effects, the application of them is partially determined by your level. So I guess it makes some sense that I'm not doing a very good job applying said status effects. Come on, go to sleep. Really? Well, let's use Barrier again. Although, at this point, his defense is going to be ridiculously high. Go to sleep! Okay, well, you know what? At this point, I just don't even care about him going to sleep anymore. Now it's time to start what I was gonna say what I refer to as the Dance of Death, but the fact of the matter is I've actually never called it that ever. And that is reviving Pokemon in battle while my current Pokemon are getting slaughtered. So let's start with those two. And I'm just not going to bother at all putting this guy to sleep anymore. I'm just going to try and kill him. Which obviously is not going to go so well for me, but thankfully at least, let's actually try Fire Blast. He's been using Barrier a lot, so his defense is probably going to be quite high. And fire attacks are not like reduced against him or anything. Unfortunately, For one, obviously, he has a lot of health, a lot of defense, a lot of special, and I'm pretty sure that he knows Recover, meaning that if you do manage to get him low, there's a good chance that he's just going to pop back up to full health. That's probably going to kill me, indeed. Let's see. Yep, he comes with recover rather by default. Let's try Thunder. I guess I could try Pin Missile. That worked pretty good against Alakazam. Let's give it a shot. I guess it's not terrible if I get a decent number of hits. I think I'm gonna stick with Thunder, though. I'm actually getting pretty lucky with how effective this Paralyze has been. And that would be a good place to try and catch him, if you were interested in doing that. Although, as I was mentioning, like, the health doesn't actually matter all that much if you're relying on status effects. I love how the experience is split between like 17 people. And that's Mewtwo. Now, just to quickly address a matter that may annoy some people as to like why I decide to kill all of the legendary Pokemon rather than catch them. Not even just the legendary, but just rare Pokemon. Stuff like Snorlax and the legendary birds and Mewtwo. And basically, it just comes down to the fact that I don't really care about catching Pokemon. Obviously, I'm not using anything other than the crew that I've used for the entire game. At this point, I'm not going to be using anything because I'm done playing the game. And the fact of the matter is, I kind of am of the belief that if you can kill a Pokemon, then you can catch it. Obviously, it's a little bit more finicky to catch it, but if you can kill Mewtwo, then chances are there's a very good chance that you can catch it, even without a Master Ball. And that's kind of the, I guess, philosophy, or something that I don't know. It's a thing that I believe. So, in my mind, showing the viewer where the Pokemon is and how to deal with it is just as valid. And in fact, in the case of Mewtwo, I think there's a very good chance that a lot of people have never actually even tried fighting Mewtwo, because a lot of people, I think, just default to be like, oh, I'll just use the Master Ball on Mewtwo and never actually have to fight him, and then I'll have an awesome Pokemon and never actually have put the effort into actually catching him. So I think there's some merit in showing what Mewtwo can actually do to wreck your party. Of course, I did kill him pretty easily. He never used Recover, which is a big part of it. But anyways, that's about enough rantification for now. I don't really have anything else to say, so with that, I'm done with Pokemon Red. Hopefully you've enjoyed the game as much as I have enjoyed playing it. I will see you on the next LP adventure, whenever that ends up being. Catch you later.